Siyanamukela ohlelweni lwe-Ithala Edu Platform enilethulelwa ngezilokotho ezinhle Ithala kanye ne-Go Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani izifundo ze-mathematics, i-accounting, isiZulu ulimi lwasekhaya, isiNgisi, i-FAL, i-physical science, i-geography, ezobuchwepheshe, i-computer applications technology kanye namaklasi e-learner wellness okungukuzilolonga ngokomqondo kanye nomzimba. Lezi zifundo zethulwa nsuku zonke kusukela ngoMsombuluko kuya ngoLwesihlanu kuqala ngehora lesi-4 kuya kwelesihlanu u-4 kuya ku-5 ntambama nangomgqibelo kusukela ligamanxe ihora lesi-8 8:30 kuze kugamanxe ihora lokuqala emini 1:30. Zithameleni futhi lezi zifundo emsakazweni Ukhozi FM njalo ngoLwesine kusukela ngo-9 kuya ku-10 ebusuku. Ningangena ekhasini lethu lika-Facebook elithi Go Digital SA_movement noma kwi-YouTube uthi Go Digital SA Foundation. Siyethemba nizolijabulela lolu hlelo oluhlose ukunifundisa futhi lulekelele kulokho enikufunda ezikoleni zenu. Luthokozeleni-ke lolu hlelo nimeme nabo bonke abanye abafundi bebanga le-12 grade 12 ukuze nabo bazuze kulo futhi nonke nicijeleke ukuphumelela kwizivivinyo zenu zokuphela konyaka.
Sanibonani bafundi bethu, sesibuyile namhlanje sizokwenza i-stock valuation la kusifundo se-accounting, indlela okubalwa ngakhona i-stock ebhizinisini. Hlukahlukene-ke indlela zakhona sichaza ngicabanga zo-5 noma zi5 ukuthi sichazele stock valuation. Mawakade mhlawumbe uthi uzobhala iphepha lokuqala, mhlawumbe uyaqala ukubhala noma uzobe uqala ukubhala i-accounting uphepha 2 lo stock valuation. Okay, awesibheke laphana nendlela yokuqala yokubala istock okuthiwa i-periodic inventory system, then bese kuza i-perpetual, and then bese kuba i-FIFO or FIFO, weighted average, specific identification method. Then at tertiary you're going to learn i-LIFO, in first out. So ake siyibheke-ke ukuthi izihamba kanjani lezi indlela lezi bala i-stock. Asiqale neyokuqala, the periodic inventory system or periodic inventory system. Periodic inventory system or periodical inventory system. Le ndlela le njengoba nje igama lizisho lithi it's periodic, you calculate stock on a periodical basis, right? The stock is calculated on periodical basis. The stock calculated on periodical basis. Stock is calculated on periodical basis, e.g. once a year, G half yearly or once a year, Okay, stock la sibalwa kanye ngonyaka, and okunye the cost of sales is calculated. You have to calculate the cost of sales. Cost sales is calculated. So sales is calculated at the end of the year. So Nansi-ke indlela yokuqala, i-periodic inventory system. The stock is calculated on a periodical basis, e.g. once a year or half yearly. Cost of sales is also calculated at the end of the year. Then bese kuba eyesibili, let me just use another color for the second one. We call it perpetual inventory system. Perpetual inventory system. Perpetual inventory system. Stock here is calculated on a perpetual basis, on a continuous basis. If you are saying perpetual, you are saying it's a present continuous tense. It's indlela eqhubekayo. Stock is calculated on continuous basis or on perpetual basis. Continuous basis or on perpetual basis, right? Cost of sales is calculated at the point of sales. Cost of sales is calculated at point of sale. You don't have to wait up until you calculate the stock at the end of the year. Calculate cost of sales at the point of sales. Remember, a cost of sales. What is the cost of sales? Cost of sales is an expense occurs whereby if we buy stock are goods that we purchase with an aim of selling it, and then we buy it at cost price, at cost of sales. And therefore, we make the price up, get the profit. Siqhubeke siye kwenye indlela yokubala istock, FIFO or FIFO. FIFO method, first in, first out. FIFO, first in, first out. Okay, there's another method here, first in, first out. It is assumed that the stock that is bought first must be sold first. Stock purchased or bought first must be sold first, right? As the FIFO method. Stock bought in first must be sold first. This is basically a FIFO method. Okay, final stock. Okay, another point here for the FIFO. If for instance you don't want to generalize, like here, let's say maybe we're selling the rugby balls or the rugby jersey, therefore you'll be saying rugby balls bought in first must be sold first. So write that. Then we go to the weighted average method. Weighted average method. Weighted average method. Okay. As I'm saying, for FIFO or FIFO is a first in, first out. It is assumed that the stock bought in first must be sold first. That's the FIFO. And then the weighted average. On the weighted average method, you can even write a formula of the weighted average, but in weights. and write the formula there in weights. Say average for the value, or just say opening stock, purchases plus purchases. Okay, opening stock, purchases, the carriage on purchases, carriage on purchases, right? Plus import duty, import duty, custom duty, less tens for stolen, right? Divided by opening units, purchases units, purchases units minus okay, also less returns. Multiply by or times multiply by units on hand. Units on hand or closing units. That's basically the formula of calculating your weighted average. Okay, and then the last one will be specific identification method. Specific identification method. Specific identification method. This method is suitable for the most expensive products. This method is suitable for the most expensive products like cars, e.g. cars, e.g. motor cars, jewelry, cell phones. So we're using the specific identification method. Watches, you see all those things. So that is a specific. For instance, I mean, as well as the electronics, that all the TV sets and all these appliances were using the specific method. But to umama nje oyidayisela emgaqweni mhlawumbe ama-fruits nama-vegetables sebenzisa ififo because ama-fruit noma ama-veg akathenge kuqala, maybe let's say awathenge on Monday namhlanje niyawadayisa mhlawumbe let's say before Thursday, maybe by Thursday or Friday usostokha amanye, so akakwazi ukuthi awadayise kuqala la akazi wathenga on Friday, kufuneka kuphelele aqala azoba perishable, azomosheka. So izona indlela-ke zokubala-ke i-stock-ke lezi. Kune-question-ke la engifuna ke siyibheke ezama ukuthi noma ekhava yonke lento le ezama ukuthi ngikubonise yona yala i-stock valuation. Angathi iyavela le question le. screening. Okay, la-ke siyibheke. Ngiyazi-ke umfundi ukuthi unayo le question le, mhlawumbe ungaphinde uyibheke because wonke umfundi wala KwaZulu Natal unayo le document le, i-MIP, right? On the MIP, uye lapha ku-page 65 and 69. I mean, like 65 and 66. Activity 2, I mean F2, activity F2, yiyo le question le lapha. So izokusiza-ke le question le ukuthi iphendule ama-question amaningi. Yabo nje question yokuqala yakhona ithi explain the difference between the specific method as well as the weighted average method. Sesikushilo lokho bathi weighted average method, opening stock, purchases, carriage on purchases, import duty, custom duty, less returns or stolen, divided by the opening units, purchase units, less the returns, multiplied by number of units on hand. Okay, so equation yokuqala u-2.1 sesimphendulile, basho bathi i-specific method is suitable for the most expensive items, right? So sesenze manje u-2.2, right? So ngaya lapha ku-MIP, MIP le oyinikeziwe uhulumeni wala KwaZulu Natal, then uzokwazi ukuthi usizakale-ke lapha, right? Lesibhekeni-ke u-2.2 wakhona. 2.2 of the activity is on page 65. Now it's a question yokuqala. Provide the calculation to show the number of the missing cooler boxes. Okay, siyafunda-ke la. Let's just read first. Information provided reports on the Clan Williams Ltd. Company said the cooler boxes and the tents. Financial year ends on 28th of February. The business used the periodic inventory system and the weighted average of stock valuation for the cooler box and the specific attribution method. So you are being told here ukuthi business for ama cooler box isebenzisa periodic as well as weighted average method. For the fact ukuthi business isebenzisa periodic, so which means ufuna calculator ini cost of sales, right, as well as weighted average method. So again, 2.2, provide a calculation to show a number of cooler boxes on the 28th of February. Let's provide the calculation to show a number of missing cooler boxes. So kushiwo kuthiwa ama cooler box that are missing as well calculated. And then 2.3, calculate the following: the value of the closing stock, cost of sales, gross profit. Right? So activity 2, sorry, F2, not 2, F2 from MIP document. MIP document. That's the equation like eceleni uzoyibona. So that is on page this is page 65 to 66. Okay, sesiyiphendulile-ke leyo qala u-2.1. 2.2, let's calculate the number of cooler boxes that are missing. Okay, uzofika la uthi purchases less sold equal to missing, right? Then you do this, right? And then how many units, the opening units. Okay, we're calculating the units here. The opening stock in terms of the units is 520. Purchases, just focusing on the units, not on the values. Purchases 4,300 total purchases, right? And then on across the page there on D, 20 units that were returned. 20, 10 is 20 there with D, 20 units that were returned. These are return tens, so we put it in brackets. And then the closing stock, we always less closing stock in terms of the units. It's 850 here, we also less that 850. right? And then on C down here, sales of cooler boxes. So the units is 3,900, right? So you are done now. What you have to do is just say 3,900. And if you add all of this, you get 3,950, right? So the number of units that are missing, it's what? It's 50. 50 cooler box that are missing. These are cooler boxes. These are boxes. Nazi-ke ukuthi-ke business njengoba kade i-lockdown survive kanjani. Cooler box nemicimbi bekuvaliwe. Right, these are 50 cooler boxes that were missing. Okay, that's a formula. I-formula le oyisebenzisa noma ngathiwa ubala i-number of units that are unsold. Can be also missing or unsold, right? So you can also use one in the same method, right? Depending what you have. So 2.2 sesimphendulile, then sesicalculate manje ini closing stock, right? By using what? Weighted average method. Okay, let's go to 2.3. Calculate closing stock by using weighted average method. Right. Calculation of the closing stock by using weighted average method. That is 2.3. More space. 3. Calculation of closing stock using weighted average method. Using weighted average. Right. Calculation of the closing stock using weighted average method. Okay, we're applying a formula. Let's start with the formula first. Right? Formula, very simply, opening stock plus purchases esikuthengile, right? Plus carriage. Sometimes banokunikeza kwesikhathi bakunikeza i-carriage on sale and carriage on purchases. Wena njalo nje uthatha ini i-carriage on purchases. Carriage transportation, carriage on purchases. Right? Plus import duty. If usithenga abroad noma kwelinye izwe, import duty or custom duty. Right? Less returns or stolen or missing, right? So that is our numerator. This is our numerator. Remember, numerator, all these are values. These are values. Our values, these are values. Amounts numerator. And then underneath we have what you call units. These are units. Opening stock, right? Plus purchases, less returns, right? Times by a number of units on hand. Times by number of units on hand or closing units, right? So sesiyabheka-ke ku-question ukuthi ithini i-opening stock yethu. Nansi ifigure yokuqala i-opening stock njengoba uyibona laphana. 3,100. So 31,200 opening stock. Purchases, total of purchases 29,400, right? My returns, very interesting lapha ku-D on the returns. At 20 damaged cooler boxes costing 60 rand each were returned to the supplier. Supplier only agreed to give an allowance of 1,000 due to the late notification. Very important, right? So we always deal with an actual. So initially, if we would 20 times by 60, 1,200, but the supplier only agreed to give an allowance of 1,000 due to the late notification. So we'll be saying less 1,000 here, less 1,000. Notification was less. Right, opening stock in terms of the units, 520, right? Plus purchases, our purchases, total purchases is 4,300, right? Yes, and then less the returns of 20. So you times by a number of units closing stock, that is 850 there on A. So we have 850. So we have to do your maths again now. Do your maths now so that you can get these figures correctly. This is very simple. Okay, this is very simple. And then see, okay, let's calculate now. Calculate here. Numerator A2. Let's get our numerator. What is our numerator? Let's calculate. So 31,200 plus 400 less 1,000 actual. Okay, so let's calculate quickly so that you can get a closing stock by using a weighted average. We have 31,200 plus 29,14 less 1,000. So in numerator A2 it's 32,600 times by 850, right? Denominator opening stock plus purchases less the returns. So 520 opening stock plus purchases 4,100 less 20, so 48,000. 4,800, sorry, yeah, 4,800. Then we have to solve again now this fraction, So we have to say 32,600 divided by 4,800 times 850. So you get 5,6,950. That is basically the value of the closing stock using a weighted average method. Right? This is the closing stock using a weighted average method. Okay, so sesimphendulile u-2.3. Now sesiya ku-2.4. No, we're still on 2.3. Cost of sales. There are three questions: the cost of sales of the cooler boxes, and the gross profit of the cooler boxes. Very easy. My questions ozobuzwa wona la emfundi asimple kakhulu. Okay, sibale manje i-cost of sales. Formula kufanele uyazi la, calculation of the cost of sales. We're still on 2.3. Calculation of cost sales. Calculation of the cost of sales. Formula, very simple. Formula yakhona iyafana ne-average ukuthi khona la uzobhala vertical ngale writing on horizontal. Opening stock stock plus purchases, import duty, custom duty. Okay, custom duty, as well as custom duty, carriage on purchases, carriage on purchases, right? After carriage on purchases, if there are any returns or stolen, you must less that. So basically, that's a formula. That's a formula mfundi ka metric. Ufuneka uyazi calculation of the cost of sales. Iyafana noma ngathi ubusebenzisa noma ngathi ubusebenzisa i-FIFO or i-FIFO, i-method iyafana, right? Nazi izinto zakho. If there are any returns or stolen, less alokhu any returns, then less closing stock. Okay, so that's a formula ufuneke uyilandele ngaso sonke isikhathi uma kuthiwa calculator i-cost of sales. Opening stock, purchases, import duty, custom duty, carriage on purchases, returns or stolen, must less that one, and then less i-cost of sales. I-closing stock vele sesiyibalile ngisho lapha kwi-weighted average nansi lethi sesenayo leya figure leya. So sesibhala ama-figures-ke manje. Okay, let's just write the figures, but nansi formula esinayo. What is our opening stock is 31,200. Purchases, total purchases, we have 29,400. Njengobona kwi-question, yes, lapho B. Import duty, we don't have import duty, we don't have custom duty, we don't have carriages. Maybe any question ongayithola mfundi ukuthi yini singabi nayo i-import duty ne-custom duty. What can be the reason that we don't have import duty, custom duty? I-answer yakhona ukuthi we are not buying abroad or beyond our border. Sithenga within, so local is like so don't have. So we have the returns. The returns here is we said it's what? It's 1,000. That's our returns. The closing stock is calculated, we check average 5,6,950. Noma ngathiwa be wrong i-closing stock yakho on the weighted average. Ukuthi nje uyayazi ukuthi le figure kufanele ize la uzothola ama-marks ngalokho mfundi. Ngeke uphanishwe kabili, uzophanishwa ngale ukuthi okay awuzange uyithole right ngale, kodwa uma ngabe usuza ngala usucalculate i-cost of sales, take this figure here, getting I mean a benefit of the doubt there in terms of the marks. Okay, calculate ke sithole i-answer yethu ke lapha 31 okay, let's go to this 31,200, 31,200, right? That's 29,140 less 1,000 less 56,950. So the answer siyithola sithola u-2,390. That is our cost of sales. Is our cost of sales. And then the question elandelayo, calculate the gross profit. Gross profit ke isimple, ungayibala ngendlela ezo3 uma uthanda, ungathi sales, calculation of gross profit. Right, ungathi sales less cost of sales equal to gross profit. Right, so sinayo ifigure ama-sales lapha mfundi, nansi ifigure ama-sales lapha ezansi ku-B. Nansi lapha uyayibona ku-B isescreenini. Sino 38,700 less the cost of sales. Let's say sithole engu-2390. So sithole ini i-gross profit. Uma ungathanda ukwenza kanje ungasebenzisa also nane-T account, i-trading account. Ithi ngizokubonisa yona trading account ukuthi how do you apply i-trading account. Okay. Kodwa ke ama-marks ayafana whether usebenzise i-trading account noma usebenzise ini kuyafana. Into esiyifunayo thina i-answer nje. Kwazi nokuyithola le answer le. Ibaleli-ke 38,700 less 2,390. So uthola u-384,610. That is our answer. Uma uthanda ungasebenzisa i-trading account. I-trading account akusiyona njalo i-trading stock. The trading, like we are trading like forex, we are just trading, you buy and sell. Trading account. Baphambanisa kakhulu athi i-trading stock. No. Ama-sales siwabhala ngaso sonke isikhathi ngala on the credit side. This is our debit side. This is our credit side. Ama-sales angena ngala on the credit side. I-reason why siwabhala on the credit side. Ama-sales angama-income, they increase on the credit side. So we have 387,000, right? Cost of sales is an expense. Therefore, I'm expense annual plus on the debit side. Cost of sales, right? And the figure yakhona 2,390. And then sesiyabhalansisa ke manje, you just balance the 387,000, right? 387,000. So the difference here will be 384,610. That is a gross profit or profit and loss. Okay, this is our gross profit. This is our gross profit. Gross profit or profit and loss. Profit and loss. Okay, nansi i-answer yethu lapha iyafana noma ngathi usebenzisele indlela le ngenhla noma ubhale uyezansi uthi sales, less cost of sales is equal to gross profit. Up to you. La ama-marks akho wena mfundi. Izobe ibuziwe le question ye-stock valuation. Sesiqedile sesiya ku-2.4. 2.4 on the same question. 2.4 mfundi. 2.4, the manager feels that the business is more efficient in controlling the stock, right? The manager feels that the business is more efficient in controlling the stock. Okay. Then 2.4.1, calculate the stock holding period in days of a cooler box for 2019. And then very important, they're saying use the closing stock. Into efunekalayo lapha yini mfundi, kufuneka wenze i-ratio le okuthiwa i-stock holding. I-stock holding kambe sekuyiphona igroup lokhumbula the time senza ama-ratios. Ngathi i-stock holding sikwi-group ye-liquidity. Remember lapha ku-liquidity ama-ratios mangabe sewonke awu-6, ayisithupha. Ngithi ayisithupha. Yes. So kodwa njengoba eyisithupha nje angahamba ngobungani okanye noma ane-relationship. Yokuqala current ratio, yomngane ne-acid test ratio. I-stock holding siwumngane ne-stock turnover, i-rate of stock turnover, and then bese kuba i-debtors collection as well as the creditors payment. So which means they are friends, those ratios. So into efuneka lapha kufuneka yona ke leyo ratio leyo to calculate the stock holding period in days for the cooler boxes 2018. Use the closing stock. Sitsheliwe lapha, let's use the closing stock. Okay, 2.4 and 2.4.1. So it's the stock holding period. Stock holding period. Formula yakhona very simple, right? Formula yakhona is very simple. What is the formula there of stock holding? Ngisho sithe angabangani i-rate of stock turnover ne-stock holding period, right? Okay, now sithi average stock, divided by cost of sales, times by 366 over 1. So the answer is in days. This is the formula. Kodwa ke la ngeke sisebenzise i-average la because isitshelwe lapho ukuthi use closing stock. Yabona? Bengingasho futhi to use an opening stock. So ngoba sitsheliwe ukuthi kufanele senzeni, so kufanele simamele ukuthi bathini. Okay. I-closing stock yethu, remember ukuthi siyicalculated i-closing stock yethu. Nansi i-closing stock yethu laphana sithole bani? U-56,950. So which means lapha sobhala bani? 56,950 instead of the average. Cost of sales now futhi siyicalculateile. Sithole in our cost of sales sithole u-2,390. So times by 365 or 366 over 1. So sithola i-answer yethu ke in days. Yasicalculate-ni ke sibone ukuthi sithola bani ke bafundi. Yabona ukuthi kulula kanjani ke ukubala i-stock holding. So 56,950 divided by 23,90 times by 365. 56,950 divided by 23,90 times by 365. Hola, 86 days, 86 or 87 days. Okay, let it 87 days. 87 days. Okay, that'd be 87 days. Okay. Siphinde futhi sibale ukugcina. Yes, that is 87 days. So it's now 87 days for 2018. Okay, equation elandelayo 2.4.2. Comment on your findings in response to the manager's opinion. Angithi yabona laphana on E. Sesiyakhomenta ke manje on these findings. Kufanele ucommente ke manje. Uyakwazi ukucomenta. Uma ucommente ubhala increase or decrease. If awufuna ukuthi increase or decrease, uthi rise or decline. Or you are saying deteriorated or improve, right? So uyabhala ke manje stock holding period, right? Now check laphana ku E stock holding period previous year it was 2017. 2017 was 125 days. 125 days, comma, right? And then 2018 is 87 days, right? What happened here? Decrease, decline, right? This decrease, right? You can even go further. Ungaqhubeka la mfundi mawufuna ukwathola ama-marks akho, then ucheck i-difference between 125 and 87, right? 125 less 87 is 38 days, decrease by 38 days. So noma ubani i-answer, I mean i-difference also. That's how we have to comment comment kanjena nje ubhala i-ratio, ubhale what happened last year, what happened this year, and then increase or decrease, and then by what. So in this case by 38 days. Okay, that is 38 days depending ukuthi uthole bani, right? Or uma uthanda futhi ubungasebenzisa umngani wale ratio le. Angisho last we're using stock holding. Uma ubheka lapha on E, there's also a friend of this ratio okuthiwa yini, stock holding period. I mean stock turnover rate, right? A friend of the stock holding. Okay. In stock turnover rate, stock turnover rate, stock turnover rate, right? So 2017 was how many days there, how many times there was 2.9 times, right? Then comma 2018 lapha on E, it's 5.7, it's 5.7 times. So what happened here? Increased. So there's an increase here, or improved, a rise, increased by. So now you are saying suthi manje ke into ofuna uyenza uthi last year, that is 2017, we were having 2.9 times, right? So siyacalculate ke manje 2.9, you can say 2.9 or 5.7 less 2.9. So increase of 2.8 times, 2.8, full stop. Ama-marks wathola onke ke la mfundi mawuso ngabe usubhale kanje, noma ngathiwa bayishintshe imemo bayenzani, uma kuthiwa nje uyakhomenta kuma-ratios, that's how you have to comment. You state the ratio, and then what happened last year and vis-a-vis this year, and then increase or decrease, and then usho i-difference. Usuqedile ngoba ngabe usuwenze kanjalo, ama-marks usuyawathola onke. Okay, asiqhubeke ke manje siye kuma-tense manje, right? Sure, lapha kuthiwa the business use a periodic inventory system and the weighted average method of evaluating the cooler boxes, right? And the specific identification methods for the tense. So now for our tense, we are using a specific identification method. We said specific, it is suitable for the most expensive items like furniture. We see the expensive furniture like jewelry, like cars, electronics. That is for specific. So here are my tense now. So which means my tense that are very expensive, right? Calculate the value of the closing stock of the tense by using what? The specific. Okay, now let's go to the tense now quickly. Sigma tense. A closing stock by using a specific. So that is tense. Right? Tense is 2.5. Right? 2.5. Calculate the value of the closing stock. Calculate is specific identification method. Specific identification method. Calculation of the closing stock. Calculation of the closing stock, right, of these tense. So let's siyabheka laphana on ku-E, right? Siya-check lapha ku-E ukwenzakalala. Ngisho yabona laphana nansi information yama-tense ku-E. We've got the 4 range okanye ama-10 ahlukene kawu-4 tense range. There's bush baby, there's leopard, there's lizard, and buffalo, right? So stock on hand esivule ngawo u14. Purchased, there's nothing esithengile. Price per item, nakama price per item. Ngicela u-underline laphana number of tens sold. Ufake usold. Usold, remember a past tense, usold from usell. Angithi? So which means laphana number 1 uzothi 14, we purchased u0 and then we sold u14. So which means there's 0 there. Mod 14 purchased nothing and then we sold. So like lapha number 1 ubush leyo part sidayisa yonke into there. And then for the second one, for the second one, we open with 10. Senge awu 10 kade sivule ngawo, so not ukuthi siwathengile, sivule ngawo 10. So awu 10 ama-10s, right? Ku number 2 10, and then sathenga awu 32, purchase 32, then we sold 28, sadayisa 28 egcineni. So which means it's no 14. So that is 14, right? That's the first one. 14 at what? That's a price. It's 1,400. Right. Okwesibili, I mean the third one, Lizard. We open with 7. Right. Ama-10 esivule ngawo awu 7. Right. 7 tens. Sathenga awu 28. Purchase 28. Right. And then we sold 28. So which means it's na 7. Awu 7 again. Right. You times with the price. Right. 1,608. Right. And then Buffalo or Buffalo, right? Sivule ngawo 8. Stock on hand. Right. Abewu 8 esivule ngawo. Kade shekile, that was on hand. Then sathenga awu 34. We bought or purchased 34. We sold 35. Right? So which means nakhona sina 7. So that is 8 plus 34 less 35 is 7. So nansi, there's no point of writing number 1 ngoba vele there's nothing, u0. Bese sesiya times ake accordingly sithole i-closing stock yethu by using a specific identification method. You can see here we are just identifying, not like or using FIFO or weighted average. So we are saying now 14 times by 1,400, totally 19,600, 19,600, right? Then another one, it's 7. That is the third one for Lizard, right? Times the unit price of Lizard, 16,080, totally 11,760. And then you 7 times unit price 15,040. Then we tole 10,780. Bese usuya-add-a ke lokhu konke 10,780 plus 11,760 plus 19,600. So sithole u42,140. So that is a closing stock by using weighted average. So I mean that's the closing stock by using a specific identification method. It's a specific here. Now the equation yokugcina very simple, ngayenza ngendlela ezo2. Equation yokugcina 2.6. 2.6, the markup percentage of the tens is 25% on cost. Calculate the total sales of the tens for the financial year period. 6 marks loyan, right? Very easy. Angithi ngithe laphana to the number of tens sold during the year. For laphana equation, calculate the total sales of the tens for the financial year. So now total sales, no 14. 14, that's what we sold, right? No 14, right? No bani, we have 28. We have also 28. We have 35. We have 35. These are our sales, right? And then we times by the unit prices respectively. Unit price of 14th, it's 12,600. 12,600. 28, it's 1,400. Another 28, it's 16,080. The last one, it's 1540. Right. Ungacalculate na kanje mfundi. Calculator kanjena, okay, ngizokutshengisa indlela eziwu2 uma ezimbili zokubala la, right? Calculate bese thola i-answer yakho la. Okay, senze mashisane ngoba manje isikhathi siyabaleka. Isuyithole nale. 14 times 1260. So you get 17,640, right? Then put 28 times 1,400. You get 39,200. Then another one, 28 times 1680. That is 47,040. Then the last one, 35 times 1540. So you get 53,900. Then usuya-add konke lokhu mfundi. 53,900 plus 47,040 plus 39,200 plus 17,640. So you get 1,577,80, right? Times by, because bafuna ama-sales, times by 125 over 100. Okay. Times by 125 divided by 100. So that's an answer here. Okay, answer. That is our answer here. Siyabonga kakhulu ke bafundi bethu, ngicabanga ukuthi nicaciselekile kulama questions lawa kade siwenza namhlanje. Niqhubekeni practice, phinde futhi niyilethe nemibuzo zama ukuthi siniphendule semandleni. Ngibonga kakhulu.
Siyathemba nifunde kahle nasithokozela isifundo sethu sanamhlanje enisethulelwe ngezilokotho ezinhle Ithala libambisene neGo Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani ke futhi esilandelayo ngesikhathi sifanayo, ningakhohlwa ukumema nabanye abafundi bebanga le-12 ukuze nabo basizakale kulolu hlelo. Uma ninemibuzo noma nifisa ukuxhumana nathi, ningasithinta ngokufaka imibuzo yenu kwinombolo yethu ye-WhatsApp ethi 068 151 1072. Mfundi, ungakhohlwa ukubhala isifundo obuza ngaso ngaphambi kokubhala umbuzo wakho. Angiyiphinde inamba yethu 068 151 1072. Siyabonga.